Hello and welcome back to another episode. Now today I'm trying something a bit new. I'm going to be showing you a little bit of a sort of a quasi let's play. And the reason for this actually is I've been watching a video by Lawnboy Posts 1975 where he was going through my favourite Spider-Man game of all time, and that was Spider-Man.2. And in my case it's on the old GameCube, and there's a very good reason as to why this is my favourite game, Spider-Man game, sorry, of all time. So what I'm going to do is boot it up. I've got my save file still in my memory card. It's a third-party memory card, but thankfully it hasn't corrupted. And well, I'll show you why I love this game. So first of all, let's just resume and get going. Now, the reason why I love this game is actually because you need to anchor your webbing to buildings in order to swing. For example, if I try and anchor above the trees there, it doesn't happen until I get below the trees, so I can actually anchor my webbing. Why is this important, I hear you cry? Well, in the Spider-Man game that preceded it, Spider-Man 1, the movie, you could actually swing from building to building. It wasn't an open world like this one. From building to building above the level of the buildings. So by that I mean your webbing was effectively, I don't know, presumably anchoring to clouds, which I found really, I don't know, unsatisfactory, and actually it took me out of the experience. Whereas in this game you get a sense of falling, you get a sense of having to plan how you swing through the city, because you need to think about where your webbing is going to go next. Now something else, the reason why I'm using a save file, not booting up from scratch, partly to skip all the cutscenes, you know, beat the game, so this is just basically now literally a sandbox. But also because at this level in the game, at this point in the game, I've actually unlocked a condition, no, not a condition, I've developed spideritis. Now I've unlocked a webbing ability called the zip web, which is extremely useful. If you press both the shoulder buttons at the same time, you'll shoot out a web and pull yourself towards a building. Now this is a little bit like the power grapple in Arkham City, where you can, if you charge it up, you can actually zip over buildings, and this makes swinging through the city so much easier, because if you haven't quite got enough height to get over a building, you can just use your web zip like that, and it'll just pull you towards it, this kind of thing. Now, clearly, you shouldn't web and talk at the same time. Maybe men really can't do two things at once. I keep on crashing into buildings, but this is the reason, in a nutshell, as to why this game is my favourite Spider-Man game ever. You know, the voice acting is pretty good. You know, it's sort of functional in that sense. The narrator is brilliant. He returns from the first game, and he's just as sarcastic and funny. The way that the film and the game relate to each other isn't all that inventive. It's actually quite a poor rehash of the film. It's not really. I didn't enjoy it when I was a kid. I don't enjoy it now really. But the city is pretty good. It's quite lively. There are crimes to interact with, and to a certain extent, actually, they haven't managed to do better, in my opinion. The people behind Spider-Man games, the people who currently have the license, haven't actually managed to improve on Spider-Man 2. I remember rushing out and buying Spider-Man 3 when it first came out. So I bought it actually for the Wii initially, because I wanted that sort of that experience with the Wiimote. And then I actually bought it eventually for the 360 just to try it out, see if I was wrong, and I wasn't wrong. It was poor. The city mechanics weren't all that well realised. The space you were swinging through might as well have been the one from Spider-Man 2. And actually, disappointingly, they reintroduced the concept of webbing being able to anchor above buildings. So actually I found myself, on the Wii game at least, being able to swing above the trees in Central Park, and again, that just was not satisfactory. I did not enjoy that at all. Especially after this game, where you do have to think very carefully about how you prolong your swing, how you're going to get round the next corner, how you're going to use your web zip to make it. That going backwards a step, and that's what it was in Spider-Man 3, going backwards was just very unsatisfactory. Now, The later Spider-Man games, I've tried a couple of them, and again the webbing has never really felt quite so good. I understand that in The Amazing Spider-Man.2 the webbing is, quote, the best it's ever been. I'm going off Angry Joe there, but part of me is just not willing to take the risk because, well, not yet, not until the price goes cheaper, because frankly this is brilliant. And what people say about the city, about the missions in the city in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, again, doesn't seem like much of an improvement on what is here in the game Spider-Man 2, based on the original second movie, if that makes sense. Very briefly, the music's okay, quite passable, and also I quite like the characterization of some of the bad guys. Some of them are absolutely bonkers. I won't ruin it for you, but there's a sequence which takes place, I think, in Madison Square Garden, I think, and it's crazy, absolutely crazy, but brilliant. There's also actually a wonderful sequence with a villain who's obsessed with the movies, but again I won't go into that, because just in case you haven't played the game, pick it up, give it a go. I know you can get Spider-Man 2, for example, on the GameCube for a couple of pounds off eBay, so it's well worth a go. Hopefully my swinging hasn't made you feel a bit sick, because I haven't been swinging the best because I've been talking, but I love it. Oh, very briefly finally, if you're wondering, you stick to the walls quite simply just by pushing the X button, the right hand so-called kidney button on the GameCube controller. So you can jump off buildings, swing, web zip, and then let's see, stick to that wall. And then actually you can jump up the wall. Basically the plane of view just changes just by pressing A, and the A button is always a reassuringly chunky big button to push on the GameCube. So you can charge up your jump to jump higher, and tap it just to jump a little jump. It's a great game, simple to control, very reassuring and satisfying experience, and frankly, until they genuinely improve on this, I'm not going to bother, I don't think, because this is brilliant. Anyway, as ever, until next time, do take care. Bye bye.